Good evening, my Kenyan friends. In Kenya now is 4:30 p.m. and good morning, my Canadian friends. In Canada now is 8:30 a.m. So we have 8 hours difference. I want to show you the outdoors for where I live. This is an apartment built by Tatu City. So I'm going out. The windows are like doors, so they call them windows, but it's an entire door, right? It's an entire door. You open a door, and that's your window. So I have a little balcony, but because I've been showing you the outdoors when I'm walking, so I thought I'll show you actually the outdoors and where my apartment is facing. I've been telling you that I live in a 5,000 acre master plan development. Is known as Tatu City in Kenya. It's a little bit north of Nairobi. Nairobi is the capital city. So Tatu City is about 28 kilometers from Nairobi. So I wanted to show you actually, but I see people passing. You know me when people are passing because I follow Canadian privacy laws, even if I'm in Kenya. So if people are passing, I do not show you the people. So I'm just waiting for them to pass, or maybe I can point down first. So I wanted to show this at the outdoors. First of all, the balcony, you have glass. So this is glass all the way down. This is glass, and that's the balcony. So there are little balconies because we have a lot of outdoor. You don't need to sit at the balcony when the weather is so good, because Kenya has good weather all year round, right? So that's my view, right? Because the view is very important. So I picked an apartment where the view, I'm viewing the coffee plantation. So this is the coffee plantation because Tatu City has 5,000 acres. Imagine 5,000. So they are not using the entire 5,000 for apartments or for townhouses or for houses. So they have, it's a master plan development where they have the apartment section, they have townhouses section, they have houses, those who want family homes. In Canada, we call them family homes. So you can get anything you want. So this is my view. In Canada, we say it is east facing. East facing view means that you have sunlight in the morning, but in the evening you have the shade. So you can see my shade because right now it's 4:30 p.m. in Kenya. You can see that my apartment is very cool in the afternoon. People are facing the other side, the apartments are not cool in the afternoon. So when you're picking, I'm not a realtor or anything like that, but when you're picking the view, it's important. But of course, the view that is facing the coffee plantation, it's a little bit more expensive than the view that is facing inwards. So on the other side, the other apartment there, so you're facing other apartments, but me, I'm facing the coffee plantation, and I love this. Honestly, I love this. So there, where you see, I'm using that is the security. I don't want my phone to fall. That is the security office there. You can't walk in here. You can't enter here without being cleared by security. And far where you see little white building is where they are. In Canada, we call it model home, right? They were building 1-bedroom apartment, but they built a model home in for people to see first before buying. In Kenya, they call it show house. So that was their former show house all the way far there. And that is the one John Radham, the executive director of Unity Homes, has actually assigned me that model home because it's no longer in use. So I can be doing my TV and videos from there. So very soon I'll start interviewing people from that location. Of course, for my Canadian clients, I'll still interview online. I'll still do the virtual studio. But for Kenyans who want to be interviewed, it's going to be, and I even want to see the finishing here, the finishing and all that, right? So very great. So yeah, the Canadians, if you want to appear on my TV, it's still virtual. I do it virtual there because I have clients all over Canada. So I'm not able to go to one location. And I used to have a TV studio, but I closed it and during the pandemic. So I'm really not going to open a TV studio in Canada because having a centralized location, it's really not possible for people to drive. So I do it virtually in Canada. So even when I'm here in Kenya, if you want me to interview you, I can interview you on TV. Just get in touch with me. But for Kenyans, you have to come to Tatu City. If you want me to interview you on TV, so that will be my studio. We are setting it up as from tomorrow, Monday. We are setting up the studio. I have all my studio equipment, and John Radham of Unity Homes also bought his own equipment for TV. And so I'm helping him to set up that. He's giving me the space, and I'm coming with my knowledge of TV hosting and interviewing. Actually, I don't want the phone to fall down, but you can see I'm on the first floor. Those who are in the lower floor, you can see how they have nice plants there. They have everything done for them. The lower floor, they can even go out there and sit on the grass, but I can also go out and sit on the grass. But me, I want the first floor instead of lower ground floor. So that's what's going on. I wanted to show you the weather. Now, when I say I'm east facing in Canada, because Canada is on the northern hemisphere and Kenya is right on the equator, right? We are right on the equator that separates the north and southern hemisphere. So because Kenya is on the equator, this is east. No, this is north. So Kenya, I would say I'm north facing, and in Canada is east facing. Actually, I remember when I came to Canada from Kenya, I could not tell the direction. Although I'm a former geography teacher, I had known directions very well, but I couldn't tell the direction because they were saying east, and to me, I can say that is north, right? So when you go to the southern hemisphere, you get a little bit confused because your east is their north, right? So I'm lucky that way that I'm that opportunity. But again, Canadians, let's talk about the weather. Right now, Canada is being pounded by snow, and I feel for you. So I'm not trying to do this to show off or anything like that. I know how it feels to be in the snow, to drive in the snow, to be in the cold. I've done that for 17 years. And trust me, when I came to Kenya, I didn't even know how it feels to feel cold, right? I was telling people that I arrived at Pearson International Airport. There are some people coming there with their cars. So again, when I see people, I face the other way. I arrived at Pearson International Airport 17 years ago with my son. He was 6 then, or 7. And I walked out. I didn't have the right winter jacket. I think the jacket I had, thinking that it was warm enough. It was like a spring jacket. When I walked out of Pearson International Airport to get into a taxi, the cold breeze hit my face. It hit my face and I felt like somebody had slapped me. I was so shocked and worried and ran back into the airport. I ran back into the airport and I was like, is this the Canada I'm coming to? Is this the Canada people talk about? And someone has slapped my face. That's when I realized it's the cold breeze that slapped my face. It's not a human being. It is so cold, I'm telling you. And the Canadians, people coming from Africa, because this is the weather they have all year round, they can never understand how cold it is, right? But Kenyans, it's up to you. You have good weather. Sometimes I see plus 15. Kenyans are feeling so cold. They're wearing jackets, and me, I'm walking with sleeveless clothes because it's hot for me. Plus 15, plus 20 is very warm for me as a Canadian. But let me say, as a Kenyan Canadian, I always want to acknowledge that I'm a citizen of two countries. So I'm a Kenyan Canadian, and I respect both countries. And that's why you see, whenever I talk, I strictly call myself Kenyan Canadian because I respect both countries very much. And I love both countries very much. So that's it today. I wanted to show you the view because I've been showing you videos of me walking, videos of me being in the outdoor gym. So this is a newer complex. When I go beyond, like now I'm going to start walking. I'm going beyond. There are people coming, they are driving, so I'll not point at human beings, following my Canadian privacy laws. So I'll now take a walk. It's 4 p.m. 4:30 p.m. So I like walking in the evening. So I'll take a walk. You can see they have great sidewalks. They have great sidewalks on both sides. This place, the drainage is done so wonderfully that even if it rains, it doesn't, there's no flooding. So I don't step on any, wet soil or anything like that. So I strictly walk on the sidewalk. So it feels like Canada. And that's why I tell people this is Canada in Kenya, right? This is Canada in Kenya, because in Canada, if it rains, you can walk out right away, right? So they have great sidewalks on both sides of the road. So I walk, and sometimes I can walk for 3 hours because it's a huge development. I go to the other side where I was showing you the other apartments. So I walk all the way to the other side. I can take 2 hours walking, or I can take 3 hours or even more. So I carry my water and drink as I'm walking. So my dear friends, Canadians, if you have been talking about Kenya for the last 2 years, some of you have bought apartments here. They are going to be my neighbors to bring their families here for winter time. I've also showed you the coast of Kenya bordering Indian Ocean, where another developer is actually selling land. Yes, dividing the land into small lots. In Canada, we say lots. In Kenya, we say plots. So yes, dividing them into small lots that you can buy for less than 20,000 Canadian dollars. These apartments, as beautiful as they are, one bedroom, it's about 60,000 Canadian dollars. But people don't believe me because an apartment like this in Canada will go for 500,000. So when you're used to such high cost, there's no way you can believe somebody who is talking about low cost. So I remember 2 years ago when I started talking about these apartments, I was actually reported, there's another vehicle passing. So when you see me facing that way, it's because there's a vehicle passing. I was actually reported by Canadians because I was so passionate about posting about this apartment. When I found out they're only 60,000, I wanted to show Canadians how to save money and buy fairly priced holiday homes to come for the winter time. So I had that passion that, it's so cold in Canada. If you can work virtually, or if you're retired, instead of even going to Florida because it's equally expensive or even more, you can come here. Kenya is a former British colony, very well established. Everyone speaks English here. So Canadians, Americans, British, UK people, European, Singaporeans, Indians, everybody can come and spend time in Kenya because Kenya welcomes everybody, right? So I was so passionate and I posted it and talked about it on my social media, and someone who is crazy enough to think that I was trying to con people because I'm talking to them about 60,000. In fact, that time these apartments were 48,000. Now they are 60. They're 57, almost 60, right? So they were 48. So I was promoting 48,000 apartments, one bedroom, and people couldn't understand what I was talking about. And they actually reported me to the Ontario Securities Commission. They reported me to the Ontario Securities Commission, and the Ontario Securities Commission reached out to me last year and told me to explain why I'm promoting Canadians investing in Kenya and blah, 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 blah. So I wrote 27 pages. I let everyone know because, again, I posted that on my social media. 27 pages of me explaining to the Ontario Securities Commission that I was not trying to con Canadians. These are real properties. They are here, real properties. I live here. Now I'm going to be living here for 6 months. When I was even promoting, I had not bought. I was actually in the process of buying because they were building them that time. Now I'm here. Now I even want to have several myself so I can do Airbnb because Airbnb is popular here. Like in December, everyone is coming to Kenya. In January, February, everyone is coming to Kenya, running away from the cold. In August and July, people are coming to Kenya because they are running away from very hot weather in North America. My friends, reach out to me if you want to have holiday home in Kenya, wherever you are. Kenya welcomes you, and I can help you, and I can connect you Tatu City, the CEO of Tatu City came from New Zealand. The executive director of Unity Homes came from UK. His partner Jason Hossey, as UK background, but he was born in Kenya, right? So I'm introducing you to great people. I live here. I paid it off. I don't pay rent, so I know it. I will never recommend anything to Canadians that I have not tried and tested, because I know there we really have to be careful what we are doing. So I'm not going to be able to recommend you to all the developers and all that. Right now, I'm only recommending you to two, Unity Homes. Unity Homes is the builder. They build apartments. They build residential units in Tatu City. Tatu City is a land developer. So Tatu City is the land developer, and then Unity Homes builds, they like building apartments, but they're also building townhouses for those who are interested in bigger units. But to me, for holiday home, just get what you need, right? Like I don't stay here forever. I only stay here in the winter time. So that's why 1-bedroom apartment is enough for me. If you have family, you can have a 2-bedroom apartment, or you can have 3. But if you're going to use it as a temporary place for your holidays during the winter time, the rest of the time you can use it as Airbnb. Mine, I like locking, like where my equipment is, because that's where I have my equipment for my TV, my clothes. I have clothes here that I don't have to carry clothes when I'm coming from Canada. I keep everything here, so I have a duplicate of the same. I have all I need here, and I have all I need in Canada. So thank you so much, my Canadian friends. It's Sunday morning for you, and it's Sunday evening for Kenyans. Reach out to me. I always ask great people to reach out to me, even Kenyans. If you want to buy, just reach out to me. Come for a visit. I live here. If you're a Kenyan who is in the diaspora, a Kenyan who lives in another country, reach out to me. What I'm telling Kenyans who live in another country, when you come back with your children, you want to feel that they're in a safe place the way they are safe where you are, right? If you live in Canada or US or UK, your kids can go out and play whenever out there. You also want to bring them here where they will have the same facilities that you have there. So here we have the same facilities: indoor gym, outdoor gym, swimming pool, soccer field, volleyball field, walking trails. The electricity never goes out. Internet never goes out. Water never goes out. I have everything I need, and I feel so comfortable. Thank you, everyone. I always ask people to send me a message. You can never make a mistake by sending me a message. Just send me a message. You're asking a question, I will answer your question, right? What I tell people is my answers might not be what you expect, but I'll give you an answer. Either way, I'll give you an answer. And so let's take it from there, and looking forward to collaborating with all of you. I'm in Kenya until May, until when the cold is over in Canada. I'm in Kenya until May. If there are any Canadians who want to come to Kenya in January and February and check it out, the weather will be exactly like this. Just message me and book a trip. I recommend KLM. For airline, I recommend KLM, Air France, and I also recommend British Airways. The reason why I'm not talking about Air Canada, I love Air Canada, it's my country, but they don't have a connection to Kenya. They have to dump you in UK or wherever, and then you take another flight that is not an Air Canada. So until Air Canada can come to Kenya, I cannot tell you, I cannot recommend. You can hear, I don't recommend Kenya Airways, because Kenya Airways will also dump you in Europe, and then you take another flight. They have an arrangement with other companies. But me, I want to recommend an airline that will pick you from Toronto and bring you to Europe for a stopover for 4 hours, and then bring you to Kenya directly. So you know it is the same airline. And so KLM, Air France, and British Airways. I am told that Saudi Arabia Airlines also does the same, but they'll take you to Saudi Arabia, and then they bring you to to Kenya. I haven't looked at the distance there, but my top priority, when I talk about all of them, my top priority is KLM. I really like stopping at Amsterdam Airport. It's beautiful airport. And then I always take 4 hours stopover. You can have 2 hours, but I don't want 2 hours in case of any delay. So I take 4 hours, and so it's 7 hours from Toronto to Amsterdam and 7 hours from Amsterdam to Nairobi. So 14 hours plus 4 hours layover, which is okay to me. Thank you so much. For you to save the kind of money that I'm saving, just take a flight and come out. Have a nice morning and have a nice evening. Lucy Jeffrey here, signing out.